Hey guys, welcome back to Dueling Destination. I know it's been quite a while since we did any deck profiles or updates. It's just been a crazy few months for the whole world, probably want to say. But just remember to stay safe, wash your hands. And right now what I have for you guys is actually a deck profile I've been working on for the new format, Master Rule 5. I picked up an old deck that I really enjoy playing. And remember, this is just guidelines and suggestions that I play in my deck. You can play differently if you like and make it a bit more competitive. I just make it as competitive as I could with the budget that I have. So let's go straight into the deck profile, and remember to like, subscribe and share with your friends. And if you don't have anything to do, just watch the video and enjoy. So I'm playing Blackwings, this new format, for a while. Well, no tournaments are going on. I try to play online, but online is kind of, people give up when you're already stopping them in their combos. And I want to practice with real people. I miss playing Yu-Gi-Oh. So let's go straight into it. If you see the camera setup a little bit different, it's just I'm trying something different for now. But we'll see how it gets there, okay? Let me zoom in a bit more here. There we go. Yeah, well, that's the best I can do right now. Yeah, so for my Blackwing deck profile, I am just using 2 copies of Simoon. It's a very good card, and Black Whirlwind is a good card to have in hand. But honestly, with what I'm trying to do with this deck, having the restrictions of going only to Dark Monsters is an issue for me. So just having 2 of them it's pretty good because you can go different ways with this. I went for Link summoning, XYZ summoning, and Synchros. It really depends on how you want to do your playstyle. You can actually bump him up to a playset, but for now I'm just using 2 copies. And because I'm just using 2 copies of him, I'm just going to be using 2 copies of Salt, because it combos off pretty good with Simoon, and also with Allure of Darkness, which I'm using for the deck. It's just I don't want to see him as much as the other guys I actually want to see, because he is only a normal summon. He does give you a +1 in monster, and like I said, you can always use the recycled monster, Banisher, and Allure of Darkness with him. And there's going to be updates on this deck, but so far this has been working pretty good for me. And now for some of the main guys, I've been using triple copies of Chris. Chris is one of my favorite Blackwing card. I remember when Chris came out, it was pretty hard to get him because he only came out in gold rare, so I really had to hunt him down. But I'm using him because he has the ability to special summon, even though just once per turn, because this was one of the new Blackwing cards that came out. The other ones don't have that once per turn clause, which is pretty good. So triple copies of Chris because he's a level 4 special summon. And one of the main guys I'm using right now is Bora. I've had this Blackwing core forever. I want to say about 8 years now, 10 years probably. And Bora's always been in my collection, and I like having this guy here. So triple copies of Bora. He's pretty broken because you can special summon him more than once per turn, and which makes it pretty good. And now we go to one of the best cards, I want to say, Gale. Gale is a 1 card out to Winda. Winda is very problematic for this deck, but with Gale you can actually get over Winda pretty easy, and just normal summon Gale, cut Winda in half, attack, that's fine. You know, works out for me. That's just the way I get out of Winda. And also, I'm gonna use 2 of this guy. He's pretty good, but in most cases I don't use his effect to manipulate his levels. I only do probably in my grind game. But if I'm going first, I probably just need him to be a body, and he can be special summoned, so that works out pretty good for me. Now I'm using 2 copies of the Far North, because again, he's a normal summon, but he does bring a monster up to the field, and in the grind game he is pretty good. But starting off in the early game, you don't want to see as much copies of him. That's why I just decided to go with 2. And now for the 1-offs I've been playing, these are pretty important for me, but I can't see myself playing more than 1 copy of each one of them. So this guy is amazing. He was like a special summon, so that works out pretty good for me. Then we have Squall, which I like a lot. He's one of the older Blackwing cards, so I like that. And one of the very old Blackwing cards, this guy is pretty good because he's a normal summon, And what that allows me to do is basically I can use him for link fodder, and later on I can synchro summon with him in the graveyard, which is pretty cool. And my deck does synchro summon. And with the new Master Rule 5, we don't have to be worrying about opening those link zone. Also, I'm using one Zephyros because Zephyros is like pretty cool, and he's very important in the combo. And if you guys want to see some combo hands, just let me know in the comment down below, and I'll probably record some combo test videos as well. Now, this is one of the main reasons I started to play this deck right now, because it has the ability to go to the infinite negates pretty easily. Almost every opening hand you can go into these guys. A lot of the time people are gonna want to stop your Black Whirlwind, and if they do, that's fine, because you have Blackwing monsters that can actually be special summoned very easily from hand, just giving you the advantage you need to just continue plussing. And I was pretty lucky that I had these guys in bulk. So that's pretty cool. And now for my hand traps, I decided to use just 2 copies of Ash Blossoms. Again, with all that's going on right now, we don't have a set format, or we don't have even tournaments that we can go to. So we don't know what the format is like. And Ash Blossoms is just something very generic that I like. And that's why I use it, using just 2 copies of it actually. Let's go into the spell cards, guys. For the spell cards, I try to keep it pretty simple. Of course, this is a heavy combo deck, so you have to play Call by the Grave, of course, but we need to be playing cards like Black Whirlwind, because Black Whirlwind is very important. That you can actually go off once you have Black Whirlwind. If you open up with only one of these guys, that's still a lot of advantage you have. In most cases, your opponent is going to be using Ash Blossom on these guys, but it's fine because you can still plus off your Blackwings just special summoning. I also chose to use Allure of Darkness, another older card, but this deck really takes advantage of Allure of Darkness. Everything almost in the deck is dark, and you don't mind banishing some copies because you have multiple copies of the good Blackwings that you need. So that works out pretty fine. I also decided to use a playset of Call by the Grave, because Call by the Grave is something that helps me continue my combos, and also it's a very offensive card that sometimes I can disrupt my opponent right now, because the format that we left was very graveyard reliant. So now I just gotta be ready for everything and make sure my combos go without having any problems. And also, this is just something I want to try out, and I hope it works out. 2 Dark Ruler no more. The thing with Blackwings, going second, if they put some crazy negate boards, I really can't get over it. So this is what I'm hoping to help me out, because I can actually clear a board later on if I get no interruptions going second. So I'm hoping these guys pretty good, and I don't mind that I can't do damage at this point, because I'll be able to just continue comboing off and clearing my opponent's board and just building my board and basically taking advantage of it and gaining all the advantage I can and just being able to stop my opponent. For my one-outs, I decided to use, of course, you need a rank up magic, you need Pot of Avarice, because you go through your monsters a lot, and being able to recycle later on in mid game is very important also with this deck. And also, one spicy card I'm using is Double or Nothing, because a lot of people think that this deck doesn't have any other plays other than the Infinite Negate, but it actually does have a lot because of the extra deck monsters that we had. So again, in the later game, you just need an OTK, and this deck is able to produce an OTK if you need it. For my trap cards, I kept it pretty simple. I didn't want to go into all kind of crazy trap cards, because this is a combo heavy deck, but you still need a bit of defense on there. So I'm just using triple copies of Infinite Impermanence. I finally got my last copy at the last time I went to locals, and I got my copy at that point, so that was very helpful. And this card is very good in this format. It doesn't only stop monster effects, but spells and traps. So you gotta make sure you're able to play around with this card, and you can do a lot, especially against pendulums, guys. Okay guys, so now we're gonna go straight into the extra deck. With the extra deck, I have it a bit different, because like I said, I like to go into different stuff, Link monsters, XYZs, and Synchro monsters. So by looking at what I'm doing here, I'm gonna do the Infinite Negate combo, but still be able to pull up a good board. I'm not gonna have a side deck for this deck because we don't have any tournaments going on, so it's gonna be difficult for me to determine how the format is gonna be. So of course we need one of the new white streaks. This is one of the main important cards in the deck, extra deck actually. And then Union Hanger, I finally got my copy. That guy is just really good in this deck, and that's for the level. Link 2s. I'm using IP. IP helps you protect your board later on because it is a dark monster and it can be summoned out very easily. And if you're locked into dark monsters, you'll be able to control the board with the Magnite guy. You have to use one of the new Samorg Link because he's the one that basically special summons all your Blackwing monsters because they're all winged beast monsters. So that's pretty good. Then for the big boss monsters, we have the Magnite Avermax and Boroso Dragon because you try to just finish the game as quick as you can. If you're going second and you can actually clear their board, you just try to win this duel right away. For the synchros, we gotta go, of course, for the original Blackwing synchros. These guys are pretty good, and this guy is one of the most important guys and he clears the field pretty fast. And with Dark Ruler No More and him on the field, it's pretty good. It's like a Raigeki. So I like using these guys, and just being able to burn my opponent and get an additional normal summon, it's pretty good. So Nothing is one of the MVPs, especially later on in the grind games. And now for finally for the sinkers, I also have this guy here. He can actually bring back a link monster, so that's pretty good, and you can go into him very easily. And one of the most powerful monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually, this is full armored monster, Blackwing full armor monster, and he's pretty good, pretty easy to make in this deck because you can manipulate the levels of your Blackwings, and then you can go into him pretty easy again. And he's hard to get over. I mean, it's very difficult. There's very few cards that can actually get over him. And finally, to run off the extra deck, you have to use a 4 Strix. This is another combo starter you need. Cyber Dragon Infinity, because this is what you bring up with your rank up magic. And to finalize everything, you try to go with OTK with Utopia and Utopia Double. And that's basically the deck profile. We'll be having changes, and if you have any comments on how we can make this deck better, just let me know in the comment section, and I'll bring any updates I can as soon as I can, guys. We'll see you next time.